Jump into the mothership. Jump into the mothership. Jump into the mothership.
It's like when I found out how old Emma Seligman was, and I was like, okay, fine. All right.
How old is she?
25, so which means she would have been filming Shiva Baby when she was 23.
She has like ingenue vibes.
I know, because she did a
little...
short with it when she was still at NYU.
Right.
And then, or NYFF, whatever, one of the film schools in New York. I think it's NYU, but yeah. And then she made the feature, got Diana Agron, Molly Gordon. I'm like, okay, fuck you.
Rachel Sennett.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah, she's great, but because she was in the short. So she already had Rachel.
She was already around there. Yeah.
But I don't think Diana.
Shiva Baby, watch it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yep.
No, it's not about stabbing babies.
Yeah, it's Shiva, not Shiva.
Shiva Baby.
He was really confused. He was like, what?
Why would you do that?
Pretty reasonable to read it like that.
Yeah,
what type of snuff films are you guys? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mothership, the heavily sleep-deprived edition. I'm Dylan, aka Friendly Space Ninja, and I am joined by the commander himself, Bruno, by Maya of BROEY DESCHANEL fame.
Yes.
And Amanda the Jedi from Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I was going to say Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, that's too
harsh.
harsh.
It's Phantom Menace, guys. Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yes.
Yeah, I was in Phantom Menace. You don't know if I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
We did convince all my friends in my gym class in high school that I was in Bend It Like Beckham.
Yes.
Like everyone believed it.
I love that.
Weren't you on Much Music at some point?
I was on Much On Demand I tap danced.
Yes. I love that. Amazing.
That's an origin story and a half.
I got to meet Matt Babel.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like Matt Babel, the VJ.
Yeah,
he like
came
to my dance school.
Oh.
And then they told us to look really mean and like intimidating. And so they go down the lineup of girls and they're all like, and then it gets to me and I'm like,
Did not understand the assignment.
I did not understand the
I'm so
assignment.
happy to be included.
Yeah, I was happy to be there.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. Is the camera on me, really? Oh my god.
Special.
That is funny. I saw like on your Instagram you have like that sketch you did, like the little skit where like you play your own mom and she's telling
I play my twin sister.
Oh my
you
god.
have a twin sister?
No, I'm playing myself. I'm playing my twin.
Okay.
Like this ugly wig.
I was like, wow, that was gonna be a reveal. I have a twin sister. I'm not actually BROEY.
An evil twin. Yeah.
An evil twin.
Her name's Crowy.
BROEY DESCHANEL.
Crowy Deschanel.
Oh my god. All right, well today is an episode that's gonna make Amanda the Jedi very happy. As you can see on her t-shirt, because we are talking about Twilight. This episode is all about Twilight. We're going to go from movie to movie, and we're going to have a debate, and we're about to beef with Bruno because he's wrong about his opinions.
Ooh,
Very
always
wrong.
wrong.
Respectfully.
His favorite
Wrong.
music clips.
It's either you haven't seen the movie
Like, that's
or
so
you're wrong.
disgustingly wrong.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there's no world
unhinged.
where you're right, because that is the
That's
movie. It doesn't do
unhinged.
anything better than the other ones. It doesn't steer into the camp as hard. It's not as good of a story.
It's kind of like extra. It's like
cares
not
about my
canon
opinion
almost.
on
yeah,
this
it's the
movie?
one where she was like, oh my god, I really need to add in more drama with this Jacob situation,
Oh
so
my
we're just gonna
God.
have him sexually assault her.
Okay,
Oh
we're gonna
my
we should have like a little formal debate almost.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna,
I know. Yeah,
between
it's
the
gonna
two of
be-
you.
Yeah, we're gonna
This
get
is
there.
hardly a debate. It's 3-on-1.
Yeah, because
No,
you're
it's
wrong.
fine. I like.
Okay, I'll accept
I
I
will
would
be-
like
I
to
will be
hear your.
Switzerland.
I
It's
want to
funny
hear
though,
your
because
take. I
this
want to hear your
shirt
take.
isn't a clip shirt, but I can't help the fact that this is where they decided to make a Team Alice shirt. It's not
Oh,
my
no.
fault. No.
I'd like to
Stop
hear your
playing, you got
formal.
that made.
I
Okay,
wish.
well,
You're
look, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not like the hugest fan of the franchise to begin with. So for me
Fair.
to
Yeah,
say that
fair.
like my favorite, of
We're still
the
gonna
bunch
roast
is-
you, though.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still
exactly.
gonna-
That's okay.
yeah,
Yeah, bring it
torch you.
on. I'm like half awake anyway, so I'll
Yeah,
just
same,
like,
same.
let it slide. But
Same.
That's why I'm gonna.
yeah, I
I'll
don't
carry
know.
the weight here.
I feel like it was the first movie of like the whole thing to
Yeah.
like, I don't know, give me more. Like I found the first one was like,
What? Okay, let's
We'll
all
get
agree
there. We'll-
before we start because I will kick you.
yeah,
The first movie is the best one.
He's not going to agree on that.
I'm like it's whatever.
What?
The first
The
one is
first movie to me is like an indie, like kind of camp film,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
low
yeah.
budget, and that's why
It
like
feels
I
and
think
it's
indie.
all about melodrama and just like the teen fantasy of romance and love. So
like,
it's like
the music and, the
it
tone
feels like the
is
only one that
just
has like an aesthetic vision.
Yeah,
whereas the other
definitely.
ones feel like they were trying to make it more
They
of like
feel
a
Hollywood as
blockbuster.
hell.
Yeah,
yeah. And I
yeah.
think that's where, because I think the original director,
Catherine
Catherine
Hardwicke.
Catherine
yeah.
Hardwicke, like went off after Twilight,
They
right? Like,
Yeah.
basically, I'm pretty sure
They
it
fired
did
her.
well, and they were like, "We're gonna give it to someone else now."
Yeah.
Because like you
Let's get
made
a
us
man
very
to direct it.
successful, so we're gonna give it away.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
so
Yeah.
deep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
We're gonna
give it
really
someone else.
shitty.
Yeah, it's like a dude can do it better. Let's get a man to direct the next ones.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Why do you like Eclipse? We didn't get to that.
Or are we gonna get to that when we get to it?
Yeah, we'll
Or
just
we
get
can
to
just
it
get
when
to
we
that.
to it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's fine.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
movie by movie. Okay, then let's break down the first one. Amanda, I'll leave you the floor here. Give
Well,
us the
like,
thoughts. Give us like
Just
how you felt back in love with it.
Oh yeah, how I fell back in love with it. Okay,
Yeah.
so like Twilight came out when I was like just in high school, so like it was perfect for me. I loved vampires. I remember when I was like 13, the two things I loved most in the world were X-Men and Underworld.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yes.
I was really into that. So then when like I got like a part-time job after school, and there was like a bookstore, so I would walk to the bookstore after high school, and I would just be looking through the stacks for new things in the teen section. I come across this thing called Twilight.
What is that?
And I was like, oh.
Libido.
Yeah, so I get it. And I was like, oh my God, it's a vampire romance. This is my life. I'm so stoked. So I was super into it. And then like I loved New Moon because I was also a depressed teenager. So it was perfect. And then like Eclipse came out and I was like,
The book, you mean?
Yeah, the book. And I was like, oh, sorry, it's starting to lose it here for me. And then like the movie came out around that time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Same
first
year, I
movie,
think.
yeah, the first movie didn't come out until I think after the last book came out. Because the last book came out in like before the summer of 2008. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it's 2009.
2008, the first movie.
Yeah, I know the first movie's
I
2008. but
actually
the
don't
book-
remember
Oh,
if
the
Breaking
book.
Dawn. I kind of remember Breaking Dawn coming out
It
after
probably
I'd already
did.
seen the movie.
Yeah, that would probably make more
Probably.
sense.
I was pretty
but it might
sure
be
it was
2009.
I was in middle
Let me
school
check.
at the time.
I'm just double checking my facts here. No, August 2nd, 2008, and the movie
Yeah.
did not come out until November of 2008. So
Oh.
like
That's
the,
what I thought. Same
So
year.
yeah, I just remember by the
Interesting.
time the movie came out, I was really excited to see the movie, but I hated Breaking Dawn so much. Like there's that scene in Silver Linings Playbook when he yeets the book out the window. That was basically me at 2 a.m. in my living room. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's
it's-
pregnant?
Yeah. It is a terrible book, and
It's
like I
so
remember
bad.
feeling so jaded by the fact that it switches to Jacob's perspective.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then,
yeah.
because I hated Jacob, but then I was like, he's the only one who's making any sense here. He's the
Yeah.
only one who's being logical.
for
You know
once.
it's bad if
Yeah.
Jacob's making
Exactly.
sense.
You
Yeah.
know it's bad. So like that was a whole ass nightmare. But you know, I saw the first movie and I liked it, and I liked New Moon, and then I actually don't think I saw Eclipse in theaters, and then I just caught up with them later. And I was like, these are whatever. And then it's like you're watching them and I'm like, these are like just really funny. So you kind of hit a point where you're like, I'm totally out of Twilight because all of these people are kind of crazy
Mhm.
with it. And I'm like, I am not one of those people. My goodness.
Twine moms.
Yeah, and then I don't know why. It was like in
Yeah.
like 2019, I was just kind of like, I just want to like kind of look back on it. And I was like, yeah, at this point, I was just really ironically like Twilight. And then the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, it's like a mix of unironic and ironic love
Yeah.
here. Like there's a lot of stuff that I genuinely love for what it is. And then there's stuff that's like, this is so funny.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
You know, just because it's like ridiculous. Like, you know, like Edward sneaking into a room when you were like, that was so romantic. And it got even worse when I was reading Midnight Sun, which is the book from Edward's
Edward's
perspective.
perspective.
And he literally says he has to grease her window so it won't make noises when he opens it. So I was
Jesus
like,
Why was she
fucking
like,
Christ.
this is a good
Yeah,
idea?
yeah, I know. I was on like that
Oh.
Photoshop shit, like the picture of him like crouching in the tree, and I like Photoshopped a can of WD-40 in his hand. I'm like, it's so funny. But then you have like the genuinely fun stuff with like Charlie just being like the best character, like Bella's
He is
dad.
the best character.
He is.
And he'll just be like,
He's
yep,
amazing.
bring him in. And he just like shuts the gun. It's like these little moments that are just like
yeah.
genuinely good. And then you realize, oh, even if Breaking Dawn sucks, the movies are so fucking hilarious. Like the first one starts with like a vampire human fuck sesh that results in a baby within like a day. She's literally looking at her perfectly flat stomach in the mirror and she's like,
Oh, Breaking Dawn.
I think I'm
Yeah.
pregnant.
Am I pregnant? What's that about?
And then it ends with body horror. Like they're literally they're like biting a baby out of her stomach as her
They
life
really
was-
went full blown
they
like
went
abject
full,
with that. That
yeah,
was nasty.
it was just blatant body horror. And then like when she kind of comes back, it's just like her chest actually goes
Yeah.
back up.
Well, it's funny because I was watching Interview with the Vampire recently, which is like that Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
sexy, whatever, Anne
school.
Rice.
Yeah.
And like just the amount of stuff they took from like the transformation scene from that with the vampires
Yeah, I
to
know.
Bella's transformation, I was like, whoa,
It's
like,
a lot.
She's kind of like
Visually, it's a
coming to
lot.
life, and then she has like her eyes.
I just
like,
love
they open
the
and they're
last
yellow.
scene is boom. And then it
That's
like
so
cuts to
cheesy.
like pop music.
I screamed in the theater.
I burst out laughing the first time I saw that.
Yeah, you
like in the
just
theater,
see the
people
eyes.
started laughing because
I
it's
know.
so dramatic.
It's so dramatic, and then just pop music.
We all like stood up. We were like,
Yeah, because I think part 2 ends with Green Day, and I think part 1 ends with a Metric song. I think I could be
love
wrong.
that.
It's something like
probably. I
that.
wouldn't be
And I was
surprised.
like,
The best ending song is the first one. It's
Oh my God.
15 Step
Yeah,
by
by
Radiohead. I
Radiohead.
fucking love this song.
I love anything that kind of has like the characters next to the credits. Like, just like, I don't know how to describe it.
as
Just kind of
it's
like that
as it
sequence.
morphs, it like the color fades with Victoria walking away, and then
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
it's so good.
bing.
That whole soundtrack is just like,
Yeah, that's like the one
Phenomenal.
thing she like. Stephanie Meyer has great taste in music, because I remember in the book she would even explain like what she was listening to while she was writing, and like it's like a lot of Linkin Park and Muse and like Green Day and just different things like that, and all that like
Who knew?
translated into the books. So like that is one area she has so many other people beat, because like Anna Todd with the fucking After series is like every chance she gets, The Fray. The Fray is the book, is the band that she connects with the most. I'm like, The Fray? The Fray. As in like Imagine Dragons who couldn't quite make it. Like
Imagine Dragons, yeah.
but
I don't like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Most of their
feel like
songs
they're
just sound like rejected Lord songs.
they're a meme at this point, I think.
they are a meme at this point.
Bless
Yeah.
them.
Which is really weird that they do the Arcane intro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
I feel like they just did
yeah.
Radioactive and then it became too big and now they can't do anything and it sucks.
yeah. It sucks for
Radioactive
them.
was dope though. I like
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
song.
At
It
the
had
time,
its
yeah.
time. It had its time.
It came out
Yeah.
in 2012.
Yeah,
Mm.
they
Yeah.
did. And
Nice.
they're
Almost 10
still
years.
using it in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then now we're in the Twilight Renaissance, where everybody's all like, you know what? It was really fucked that like all of you people made fun of stuff that we liked, and like you people ripping on Twilight for like really dumb reasons. And
Well, it's
Basi-
only because teenage girls liked it.
yeah, I know.
Right,
But now
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? We like literally Beyonce was right. It's not who won the world girls, it's who won the world teenage girls.
Yeah,
Do they, I feel like you may have
basically,
taken a bit of a hand in the Twilight Renaissance.
I'd like to think so.
I think you
You
did.
did.
I'd like to think
You
so.
definitely
I
did.
think YouTube definitely contributed
Yes.
to that,
Yeah.
bringing that about.
Yeah, like the Twilight page followed me, so that means something. That has
means
to
something.
mean
That's
something.
your
Have
humble brag of the
legitimacy.
day.
That is my only
I
humble
brought
brag I
back
have.
Twilight single-handedly.
I did not. No, again, it's young 20-year-old girls who brought it back, who were like kind of probably reading it when they were like. So I was lucky when I first started reading it. No one really knew what it was. It was getting popular, but it wasn't this thing that had the entire
Wasn't
attention
a
of the world.
phenomenon.
Because like it hadn't been made into a movie yet.
Yeah.
So, and then once it got made into a movie, that's when everybody started making fun of it. And then that would have been when that next generation of Twilight fans who were kind of, by the time all the books were out, they were coming up and they had to deal with all this abuse. So now they're in their young 20s and they're like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Twilight's amazing. Like,
That makes me think a lot about just like that whole like the I'm not like other girls kind of meme
Yeah.
and stuff, and like
Mhm.
how we kind of I've been thinking about this a lot, and how we kind of blame women for wanting to distance themselves from like typically feminine like identifiers of femininity.
yeah.
But like honestly, like back then, it was like you would get made fun of for liking these like
Yeah.
hyper feminine
Yeah.
things.
So you
So
kind
So
of
of
had
course
to.
you kind of had to renounce. Yeah,
You
like,
did. You really had to start separating or like have
Yeah.
so many different caveats. And now I'm just like, no, fuck it. Twilight rocks and you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking fucking rocks.
Like you're still making fun of
Well,
the
that is the
sparkly
vibe,
aspect. Give fuck. Skin as hard as diamond, bitch. I sparkle in the sun too.
Yeah.
Pasty
Where does this
shit.
vibe, dude? I like his hair in the first movie, dude.
Like,
Oh,
it's so fun. And like, I don't know, like that first movie, there's so many little things, like fucking Emmett walking into the cafeteria with a bag full of hard-boiled eggs.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you can kind of think that it's canon because like, oh, he's so beefy that they'd have to think that he's eating. But apparently it's just that like Keelan Lutz, the actor, was eating a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. So he
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was
guess
his-
I'm
That
gonna
was
carry
something I
these
did
around.
not notice because I was too busy looking at him.
I didn't notice until like years later. And I was like, what is he holding? What's on? It looks like golf balls.
Yeah.
And then you're finally
Golf
like,
balls.
oh my God, it is like 24 hard-boiled eggs in a plastic bag.
Well, it's like the ketchup
insane.
scene too, where she's like
yeah, just
I'm a
the
smell.
hitting the ketchup against her
Yeah,
hand. Nothing's coming
that-
out.
it's like, 'cause,
smell.
like there ain't nothing in there.
Yeah, did not know. Went right over my head at the time.
Oh, I have a question.
Mm.
What is your favorite Twilight scene?
Ooh.
Say it.
Say it out
That's
loud.
the ultimate classic scene.
Honestly, to me, that's my.
Stank Face is also a classic. Walks into the room and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
oh, yeah,
that,
yeah.
that
That's
one's
funny.
a classic.
Everything in the entire first movie.
Yeah,
is
like
just
there's
so
nothing.
fucking
Yeah, it's
funny.
like, and then Where the hell
baseball
you
scene,
been
right?
at, Loca?
The baseball
Yeah,
scene.
Baseball
Where
scene is
the
my
hell
favorite.
have
That
you been, Loca?
the Alice like high kick. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Alice being
Mwah.
sexy.
I just love that shot of
Yeah.
Emmett going up the tree and it just cuts to Rosalie like, my
monkey
man.
And then- what is it with monkeys in that movie? Because he's like, better hold on tight, spider monkey.
Yeah.
And he says that with like his accent kind of slips
It
too. He's
slips
like,
too.
better
I
hold
know.
on tight,
It's
spider
so,
monkey.
he has so many scenes where his accent kind of comes back in.
I
Yeah.
love it. Robert
Especially in the
Pattinson.
last two movies where he was just done with it. He was like, I'm not gonna.
It's like, we're supposed to be partners,
this.
Bella.
Yeah, we're supposed to be
Yeah,
partners.
he is so mentally checked out of those last two movies. Like he's
Yeah,
so
for
just
sure.
But now he's
not
like good
there.
with it. He's like,
Yeah.
I like Twilight now, and I'm like, good job, Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson.
he's fine with
but I
it.
remember like interviews for the first movie, he was like torching it. He'd be like,
He
yeah, I
hated
tried
it.
to make it more intense, but they said they were gonna fire me if I did. And you know, I think that Stephanie thinks she's Bella. And it's like, well, yeah, that was her
Yeah.
self-insert. She had the dream of herself in the meadow with
Yeah.
a super attractive man.
That was again part of it, like him kind of having to renounce it because he wanted to be taken seriously as an actor, and like
Yeah.
was kind of the butt of this joke. Now.
I know,
and
and
it's
it
like,
sucked. Like they
Yeah.
all were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so funny that like you have like three theoretically, but actually four more of these to do, and you were torching the author of the series, being
Yeah.
like, it's kind of creepy. Like, I think she thinks she's Bella.
Yeah.
yeah, babes, that's how writing works.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but it was just the way that he so blatantly said
Yeah.
it. It was like, it's really creepy when I look at her.
Bold.
What I love is that Kristen Stewart in interviews, whenever she brings up Twilight, she never says Twilight, she says Twilight.
Twilight.
Yeah. And I think that's so cute.
Is it
Like-
on purpose or does she? Have
No,
an
she does it
accent?
on purpose.
Yeah, at this point it
she
must
just
be
calls it
Twilight.
Twilight. That's like the weird effective
Twilight.
name she's given it. I
love
think my
that.
favorite scene in the entire franchise is that scene where Edward gets bodied by a Volturi in,
Oh, yeah,
at the end
just
of
that.
New Moon.
Yeah.
Boom.
Like the way they move, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
They just like
They
they're so
ran-
quick that they become a blur for a second, and then he
Yeah.
just
And then
grabs
he-
him and it goes slow mo and just slams
yeah,
him
I
on
do
the
think that
ground.
movie kind of nailed like the slow-mo fight stuff more than some of the other ones.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes
They
it's
look
like,
rough.
what the hell?
Yeah.
And when they're like running too,
Yeah,
like they're like,
and they're just on the
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
little like.
So talking about Twilight, you might think back to like Bella saying that she hates cold, wet things,
She
and then
hates it.
Edward's right there as her romantic interest, which would be a cold, wet thing. So Bella probably really could have benefited from today's sponsor,
Adam and Eve.
where if you use code MOTHER, you can save 50% off your first item and get free shipping if you live in the US and Canada, which Bella does, so she'd be set. Also, they have this great initiative where for every purchase, they donate 20% to HIV fighting initiatives worldwide. So you can
Bang.
feel good while you feel good. And again, lots of fictional characters could benefit from adamandeve.com because they put up with a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam and Eve, for sponsoring this show. Go to adamandeve.com and use code
Mother.
for 50% off of one item. And of course, free shipping in Canada and the US. Thank you so much for sponsoring this show, Adam and Eve. We love you.
God bless you.
The final fight at the end of the first one is genuinely hilarious. It's
Yeah.
so not good.
I
that
saw
it's
it
so
in
fun.
theaters. I made my mom take me to see it on her
Oh, rip.
birthday.
Love
her
it.
birthday.
Love
and
that.
we watched it and like I was like sobbing. Like I was like
But it's like, it's so
and
funny
she was like
Like your mom is just
like they had the rig stunts so that they could like do the wire work, but like they clearly didn't have it down to get the momentum right. So like people would jump and then their legs would kind of swing forward, then swing
they're
back
like-
because
Yeah,
like
I know, yeah.
it's working as if you're actually swinging on a wire. And it's like, oh god, your $50 million budget was just not. It's like actually a $30 million budget just was not ready for this.
it's not ready
Yeah,
yet.
I
Yeah, they
know.
are kind of swinging in midair. Like you can
Yeah,
just see
you
that they're
can
being suspended. Like even if it's not there.
because
you
it's
can,
like they don't have the wire that's holding the bottom part of them back for the momentum. So like once the slack hits, they kind of swing forward a bit, then go down.
So unfortunate.
that scene where Bella gets bitten and then Edward has to, and it just cuts to a song of Robert Pattinson.
Held my love. I would wrap around your arms.
Oh my god, I fucking
I
love
love
that
it.
name.
He's good at writing songs, though.
He's really
like,
good, yeah. He's really good. I actually
He's-
love that song, but it's just so like dramatic.
It's so dramatic
You
in
get
the
the
moment.
art of like Bella's face,
It's
with like
like-
hand drawn and stuff. Like it just flashes to a bunch
And then
of
like
shit.
Carlisle in the background. It's done, Edward. You're killing her now.
Yeah.
Have the strength to stop,
But also
son.
her yelling too. She's like,
Her yelling is so
But to be
funny.
fair, like if that was supposed to feel like your body burning, like she
I'd
did a
probably
good
do
job.
that,
Like
yeah.
she did a good job committing
Yeah.
to it.
I like that. To me, that was like the most intense thing I'd ever watched at that
Yeah.
age. Like I was like,
Wait, how old were you when it came out?
I would have been. I think I was 12 or 13. I think I was 12.
Okay.
Oh,
We
yeah,
saw
you
it-
were
you
at
were
the
12 in
perfect age to feel the
2008?
stakes.
Yes, I'm.
Oh, 12
I was
or
born in
13, yeah, you
96.
would've been.
Can I do
Yeah.
math?
2008.
2021
Yeah.
right now.
12.
Yeah, you would have been
I was
12.
like 12,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Wow,
So old.
I'm baby.
So old.
Yeah, we were like 15,
I'm kidding.
16.
I was 14, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Wow.
That was such a...
Okay.
Let
move on from
me
this.
sign.
Yeah.
Let me sign.
Yeah, but my other favorite scene, but I love how they committed to it, is in New Moon, because so in New Moon, the book, it just he leaves and then it just hits like October, November,
Yeah,
December.
yeah.
and then in the movie, it's
like that one
spinning
shot.
around her,
It's actually
and then
very
it
creative.
was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
very
It's
creative, and I was
actually
like,
very
"Oh my
creative.
god, Twilight!" With
Yeah.
the artisticness instead of just being like 4 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
actually-
like really captured my like tween depression.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
be honest, like it really, I feel like it captures depression
That's,
actually really
it
well.
does, and like
Yeah.
everybody hates it. I'm like, no, this is how I felt when I was like a teenager dealing with like the loss of first love and
She's
like
just numb. And
numb, like completely, and you're
it's
so over dramatic at the time because like all your hormones are running crazy, so
Yeah.
it feels
Yeah.
like this is the end of the world.
All
right
the emotions
now.
are so heightened.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's very accurate.
The
so I hate
screaming in the bed is kind of funny though.
yeah, the night terrors.
Yeah.
She's screaming like when she
When
was
she got-
screaming, when
Yeah,
she got
yeah.
bit, like,
Well, some of
She
that-
has the best scream.
I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, she's so good,
Yeah,
an icon.
an absolute. Also, New Moon has the hottest scene of all time, which is that one shot of Alice like destroying the door to get into the church.
Yeah,
yeah.
That shot is so cool, and she just has like the sunglasses and
yeah. I love
Ashley Green
Alice.
was a bit of a sex icon at the time. I feel like.
Yeah.
yeah. She looks so good.
I just love when she shows up.
Alice, she's so good. She's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
That hair is
really
so
is.
underrated. We need
It's
to
one of
bring
these things
back.
that like
For real,
she's
yeah.
more
Yeah.
attractive as Alice Cullen than she is as Ashley Green. Love you, Ashley. Love it. No, it's
I
like
kind
I'm
of
sorry.
agree though.
Okay, he's like Alice Cullen seems more like she could be a gay icon, and
Yeah,
Ashley
yeah,
Green
yeah.
is just like
Ashley's
you were
very-
gorgeous, but you were so straight.
She's a basic,
Yeah.
basic legend.
Yeah, like you were so
Yeah.
so straight gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, the hair. Bring back that hair.
Yeah, bring back that hair.
wispy.
Actually, yeah, bring back
Good.
the hair.
Bring back
Yeah.
the hair for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
It was
her
a
hair was
vibe.
back.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was a
vibe.
vibe.
It was a
Bring
vibe,
it
yeah.
back.
She had the same haircut
It's like
as
synonymous
Jasper
with that
or
character.
whatever.
It's very 2000s. That like spiky, like Lisa Rinna.
Oh
hair.
yeah,
Yeah.
really, it really is.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
she just had that whole goth vibe on deck. Like
Yeah.
she was
Good vibes.
too cool
Mm.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the rest of the Cullens at least.
always.
Carlisle just looks like he's straight from Final Fantasy.
Carlisle just looked
He so
weird.
does.
Carlisle
Yeah.
is
It's
a
so
full
off-putting.
interview with the vampire ripoff. Like he looks
He
exactly
does,
like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
and it's weird.
It's like they like really tried to make him look like Tom Cruise.
I do like
Yeah.
that scene where he talks about his like Christian beliefs and like when he thinks that like he's doomed because in his head he's a
yeah.
demon.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
that's surprisingly interesting.
Interview
well,
with
that's
the
also
vampire.
Mormon
Yeah,
propaganda
true.
too, though.
She 100% ripped from Anne Rice so aggressively.
Oh
in
yeah,
so
like
many.
most vampire things do.
Most vampire things do. Yeah.
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 I think sometimes I think New Moon's my favorite, but every time I rewatch the first one, I'm like, the tone is too
the
good.
first one's just so good, but like it depends what you're looking for. If you are looking for a very accurate representation of like teen depression, it's New Moon.
Yeah.
Like that is very accurate. Like I would honestly, and people are going to torch me for this, in terms of like how it deals with like on-screen representations and depictions of mental illness, I would put it up there with Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
that movie
yeah,
like
it is a little
legendary.
bit.
It's
you're-
we're on a different territory.
we are in
Nah,
different
but
territory. In
it-
New Moon, it's fueled because her boyfriend left, but like that is a very accurate thing that happens to
Yeah.
people. People
Yeah.
as teenagers get super fucking depressed and like emotionally shattered over that. Obviously, again, Perks of Being a Wallflower is in its own different league. But if we're just talking about like how well a movie captures genuine emotions
Yeah.
of what people might be going through, like New Moon's there.
I think as a movie, I prefer Twilight just because of the
Of course.
aesthetic direction.
Yeah.
Whereas New Moon felt a bit more like,
We're just
A
trying
bit-
to make a Hollywood.
yeah, we're,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think, yeah, in terms of theme, I think New Moon's stronger.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
in terms
Where
of
the hell you
aesthetic-
been, Loca?
That
Bella!
fucking-
Okay, I
Yeah.
loved his long hair. I thought it was
I
beautiful.
know.
And when everyone makes fun of it, I find it kind of like,
Mm.
oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know about
You just
that.
don't see
Like,
what I see.
sometimes
dude.
it looks bad, like because it's a wig at one point, and like it looks
Yeah.
bad as a wig. But like he's so like full of joy, and it looks so nice, and it's just this beautiful
Yeah.
flowing hair.
Yeah.
And then they like cut it off, and he immediately becomes this like miserable, horrible person the second his hair is gone, because that's when he becomes a
Filthy
werewolf.
bloodsuckers.
Like,
Yeah.
I
But
get
he's
it.
a sexy fuck though.
Yeah, he's a sexy fuck.
Jesus Christ.
He
Yeah.
worked
But-
really hard to be a sexy fuck
And
because
Yeah.
Cheaper by the
brutal.
Dozen too. That was like my awakening when I
Yo.
when he was in Cheaper by the Dozen.
Wait, who?
Yeah.
Taylor Lautner, he's in
Cheaper
Cheaper
by
by
the
the Dozen too, and
Dozen
he's like Allison Stoner's
Oh,
like camp
yeah.
boyfriend, and I thought he was so cute.
Yeah.
He is a little cutie.
Aw.
Yeah.
Even in what is it, Shark Boy and Lava
Shark
Girl?
Boy and
Lava
Lava
Girl.
Girl.
He's such a
Classic.
cutie.
With his little
Dream,
dance,
dream,
dream.
With his pikey ass hair.
That movie is unhinged.
Most
It is so
2003 hair
unhinged. It's like
ever.
absolutely
Yeah.
The
ridiculous.
effects are insane.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, New Moon is about, but I just think I hate that they never committed after the first one to keeping Forks a super rainy Gotham ass like place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made it just very orange for some reason.
Yeah,
They
it's like
changed the color palette.
Yeah.
They changed the color grade. Yeah.
they do it in
yeah.
a lot.
The first
Well,
one's
yeah,
very
like to be fair,
blue.
the teal wash was a bit much, but and
Ugh.
I
and
like
I
it.
loved it, but I guess for them it was supposed to be like when she meets Jacob again, like the warmth is supposed to come back into her life a little bit.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
okay.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
still, like it becomes more of this like fall wonderland versus
Look at
like
you
this
bringing the
gloomy.
artistic value to the, to the
I'm
Twilight
doing my
franchise.
best. I also think that the contacts look the best in the first movie. They start looking so
So
unnatural
weird.
in the
Oh,
second
yeah.
movie going
Yeah.
forward. Like you could not go to high school and have people not be like,
What the fuck's up
you're
with
not
your eyes, bro?
okay. You all live together, but you're not related. But you all have the same unhinged eye. Like
Robert
what the fuck is
Pattinson's
happening?
makeup also gets increasingly more bizarre. Like
Yeah,
you can
Mhm.
see his
I think
foundation
honestly
and like
s-
lipstick.
Yeah, something with that
Crackling.
teal wash gave them room to work with things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
It just has this kind of haze to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
do think they also probably changed it just for like the eyes. For
Yeah.
people's eyes to like
they should
But
have
it
gone
was too
have a bit of a
much.
break
It was
from
too
the,
much.
the cold.
They could have gone CGI.
Yeah,
for
I
the
heard that
eyes.
the
Oh, I think that would have looked ugly.
Yeah,
though,
I
to
think
be
that would have
honest.
been
You
like
think so?
worse.
'Cause,
I'm
like,
always against
Teen
CGI
Wolf,
if
Teen
you
Wolf
can
does
avoid it.
CGI colored eyes, and it
but
looks pretty.
it's
dope.
only for certain scenes.
Yeah.
It's
this
only
is,
when
like,
they're
the whole-
turning,
Yeah, for a
right?
whole
And
movie, it's
remember
weird, yeah.
what
Yeah,
happened
whereas-
with the baby.
The baby.
Yeah.
God, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
my
know.
trust.
Like I don't
This
trust them with
franchise.
CGI.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Don't do
CGI
that.
monstrosity.
Well,
It's like you had the
that was
animatronic
fucked.
monstrosity or the CGI
For the
monstrosity.
time, the wolves looked kind of okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
for
I
the
love
time
the
and the
wolves.
budget.
For the time,
and
yeah.
the budget, at
Yeah.
least.
Oh,
in
the
New
wolves
Moon.
look great. Yeah,
they look
I'll
good.
just like I'll always opt for practical effects.
Oh, of course.
can
If
help it.
possible, yeah.
If
They could have
possible.
got a big
Yes,
wolf.
but like with the CG, there was like this, like I don't know, like this giant powdered, like furry character.
The
Yeah.
wolves, the wolves
Yeah,
needed
you
to
wanna
be
hug it so
CGI.
much.
Yeah,
they looked-
there's
they
no
looked
way they
really
could have
good.
done that practically.
We'll never get over that like behind the scenes shots of her just
Yeah, with the
caressing,
caressing
Jacob's head.
Jacob's head.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I don't know how actors can suspend their disbelief to like act in scenes that are
I think
like
you
green
just
screen.
Yeah.
you either just have to accept that like this is my job, do
Yeah.
it, or you
Yeah.
just laugh it off and like because sometimes like an actor will Emma Watson does that. Like there's behind the scenes footage of Harry Potter, I think the last one where she just starts laughing and she's just like, I just need to get it out. So they redo the scene knowing that she's gonna laugh and
Yeah.
she just lets it out for a minute or two, then resets and like goes through the scene. You just
Yeah.
have to let it out and
Oh
just
yeah,
Then
yeah,
you're good.
accept
totally.
that it's fucked.
Yeah, 'cause the more you try not to laugh, you're just gonna do it anyway. So you just like we got to chill.
Yeah, you
for a
gotta
second.
get it
let
out.
it out and get going.
Yeah.
All right, Eclipse, let's get to it.
Get to
Talk to me.
Eclipse.
What do you got?
Okay, so what I think it is
Is it the
that
fight
it
scene?
hit me at a time in my life
Oh.
where
Where the vibes were needed.
Were
Where
you
the
in a
vibes
were you in a
Yeah.
romantic throesome?
no.
Not threesome,
That was the
triplet.
club that got you going.
Love triangle.
Yeah, were you
Well,
in a
no,
love
it's just-
triangle?
the first one I found was
Romantic
like
threesome.
too not too childish, but like too I don't know.
Campy?
Yeah, I guess.
Goofy?
Me, probably.
Like I don't know, and at the
Too much
time it
melodrama?
hit me, it was just like, nah, I'm good. Like I watched it in theaters, but like
Okay,
I was
yeah.
like, meh,
Yeah,
whatever.
well, you were
Whatever.
not the target demographic,
Well,
so
that's
it's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
makes
sense.
Makes
exactly
sense.
that. And then the second one too, like I don't know, like
Second one is kind of dark thematically.
it is, but it's just so dramatic and so like
It is heightened.
It
yeah.
is heightened,
and it's
but that's
like,
how what it's like being
man,
a
I didn't-
teenager.
That's true, yeah.
yeah, true. But it's again, it's not
Not
I'm not
for-
the demographic.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's not-
fair.
so it's like
But then Eclipse just
then
stuck you right
Eclipse,
in
it's
the
like,
feel.
okay, you gave me something I can hold on to. Like the,
Yeah.
the fighting was
the
good.
world
the-
building
the
starts
world-
happening in Eclipse. Like it feels
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
small.
But then
the
it's
first
still
two.
so bad. It's
Yeah.
like I don't like
Yeah.
the worlds we're building
I like
anymore.
the final fight.
The final fight is so
It is
gangster.
good. Yeah, the final
Yeah,
fight
the
is
final
good.
fight's
There are
good.
some
But that's, like,
details
it.
that in it that I like the way like how every character fights differently. Like
Yeah.
Alice is super suave, so like she's
Yeah.
super smooth
Like,
when
she,
she
like,
Because she
fights.
can see
sometimes.
the
Yeah.
decisions they're
Has some
making.
vicious movements.
Yeah.
Emmett is just the Hulk.
Yeah, he's just like fucking clotheslining people left and
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Like,
I
And
love
then-
that character. He has like there's really no depth going on.
I
there.
know
like,
it's
he
great.
has
There's
I
nothing,
love
yeah.
that. I
There's
love it.
nothing.
He's just
I
like
love it,
frat
like-
bro.
He's just a beautiful
He's just a
smile.
himbo.
yeah,
Yeah.
ultimate himbo frat bro energy. So
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
scene in
exactly.
New Moon when it's Bella's birthday and just goes to Edward and you're just like dating an older woman.
Been hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
So hot. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and when Bella punches Jacob and
you
breaks
punched
her
a
head.
werewolf in the
Yeah,
face.
like badass.
Can I just say also the actress who plays Esme is just the loveliest.
I love
like
her.
she has the nicest presence of
They
anyone I've seen
cast
on
her
screen.
so well.
I just love that she
I
has
want her to be
full
my
lines
mommy.
in
I know.
all five
I
movies.
know, but I love her. I know to name the baby after her so random. To me. Like,
Yeah.
even in the
Renee.
books, it's just
Yeah.
like what? Neither of the moms are like central to this plot.
Like,
Yeah,
why
and
did
it's
you
really
name the
weird that
baby
like
after them?
Esme's a better mom to Bella than
Her awful
Renee.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like,
Yeah.
why did you choose these characters who were so extraneous to the plot?
Yeah,
They
I
have nothing.
know.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
like
isn't
mother
the baby
figure.
Charlie?
Well, who else
Like-
would they? It'd be like Alice. and-
Charlie.
Alice
I know.
is
Well, that's if
Cecily.
it was a boy, it would have been named EJ.
Oh right.
Edward Jacob.
Edward Jacob
God,
Charles or something
They had
like
like
that.
not
Oh,
one
Jesus.
ounce of creativity with that name. That
no,
shit sucked.
but it's because again, I think that's because she's a Mormon. So her name is Stephanie, but it's spelled with the E, not the A, because her dad's name is Stephen. So she's Stephanie. Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yeah. So that's why.
Cute.
That's a Mormon thing. I was not aware of that.
It's like, well, it's not. I think in a lot of like in very religious families, it can be a little bit more normal to do like you're named after your parent, like the lineage kind of
Yeah.
keeps on in
Yeah.
some way, and like
Right.
they just kind of. It might not be a Mormon thing. I think that just might have been like her personal thing. Like she was clearly named after her father, so it would make sense for her to use a character that would be named after
Yeah.
two parental figures.
It just feel like
Yeah.
it had no thematic resonance to the actual story, which was like it just felt so weird and random.
It's
and then the
it's
name
and it's
very
a
also
random.
dumbass
sucks.
name, yeah,
Yeah,
Especially in the
Renee.
movies, because Esme in the movies, like she's more of a tourist. Like she's there, she's in the scenes, but like you'll just get a shot of her just staring, and she never talks.
She's
I
not an
know,
active
but
character. Like she
she's
doesn't
so
actually
nice.
Yeah,
incite
not at all.
anything.
She's
in the
so
plot.
nice. Like she cooks all the food for the werewolves and they don't want to eat it, and it makes her so sad. So
Yeah.
Jacob's just like, okay, I'll take it. And it's like Seth's been eating like 5 people's meals so that she won't feel bad.
No.
Yeah, she's cute. That
So-
actress
So
is so
adorable.
cute too.
I love her
Something
so
else in the
much.
clips. I want that Rosalie movie.
Yeah, seriously,
she's
that's the
just
best. That's
ripping
one
Her
of the
shreds.
best.
backstory is so tonally jarring. that
Yeah.
you're
I
like,
know.
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
it's
guess we'll
like-
go there now.
Yeah, but it's like so good and dark. But then at the same time, like I don't think Stephanie Meyer respects Rosalie as a character at all. And like you realize how little she thinks of her in Midnight Sun because like there's so many comments of like Edward just constantly commenting on how vain she is and how like
Oh.
horrible she is. And I get that Edward as a character doesn't really like her, but you'd think after being around somebody for like 100 years, you would like
You'd warm
grow
up
up.
It's
to
also
them a
like,
bit.
Yeah.
sorry, she has trauma.
Yeah, she has trauma. Yeah, she's
What
a little
the
bit
hell?
vain, but like, why do you have to like amp it up that much here?
Yeah.
Like, because
No,
he
she
literally
doesn't
says
like
that her
her.
power is her vanity. Is like, because everybody kind of brings something
Jesus.
from life, and I'm like, I would say it's her like resiliency.
Yeah.
Like, she's
Yeah.
and she's like she's so concerned about protecting the family that's like a thing that she concerns herself. Like, there are so many better Rosalie qualities, even as like a bitch to Bella that you could go.
She's
with
a complicated
over vanity.
character, yeah.
Very
She's
complicated.
very There's so much to explore with her.
Well,
Yeah.
especially where her beauty is the thing that resulted in what she is now and why she hates it so much. It's
Yeah.
like not that it's her fault, but she probably blames it on that to an extent. It's like I was
Yeah.
this like beautiful, naive little girl. I walked home a little bit too late at night, and my fucking fiance, like,
The backstory is so
It's
okay. All the
so
backstories
dark.
in this book are so fucking
It's
random.
super
yeah, like,
tragic.
Yeah.
Esme's baby dies, and then she yeets herself off a cliff, but she had been getting abused by her husband.
it's like all so dark. Jasper's a
Yeah.
Confederate
soldier. That's just
Yeah.
dark for other reasons.
Alice
Yeah,
was
for
like,
other
was
reasons.
like put in a mental
yeah, she
facility
was in an
because
insane
she
asylum.
could
Like,
see things.
and then honestly, Edwards is the most tame. Is he just got the Spanish influenza?
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, boo-hoo,
And then,
you're
like,
dying of influenza.
Yeah, Emmett got attacked by a bear.
Boo-hoo.
Saying that to
Yeah,
your
Emmett's
fire?
kind of
Oh,
rough.
boo-hoo.
Yeah.
You
Emmett's is
died for
rough.
a film.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, you go use the
Crimea
Spanish
River.
influenza. He
Get your
didn't even
shit
have to
together,
die. He almost
immortal
did.
being.
Yeah, but like everybody else has these like super traumatic backstories, or they're just like kind of like horrible backstories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of. But I want that. I do want that Rosalie movie.
That would
It's
be so
metal.
great.
It's so metal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so,
so
metal.
metal.
It, well,
I don't
it
think
is.
she
It's
would
like
ever go
fucking
back to that,
horrific
but-
and traumatic, but then it's just like, yo, you hunted them down and then killed your fiance in a wedding dress.
It literally
Yeah,
is just
no.
a rape revenge movie. Like
It
that. That
is.
genuinely is.
Yeah.
It would be. It would
Like
be a
every-
rape revenge. Yeah.
She shows up in her wedding gown.
Oh my god, I was a little theatrical back
hardcore.
then.
It's just
That's-
so random for Twilight though. I was
I
like,
know,
whoa,
but
you took it
it's-
there.
she-
Okay.
yeah, but it's like so good.
But
Yeah.
it is tragic the way like you feel bad for her the way she explains how she just wants to be able to grow old with Emmett and have kids and
she just wants
grandkids.
to
And
have
that's all
kids
she
and
wants.
grandkids grow old on the porch.
I think that's
Mm.
like kind of the central question of a lot of vampire narratives. Just thinking about back to Interview with the Vampire, but just
Yeah.
like the idea of like how do you live without death, and like the way that death is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Such an
Right.
important part
Such
of
an important
life.
part
Yeah.
that we try to evade, but actually it's like
They touch on that in the books with the Volturi, right? Like they're
Yeah.
just like there's Caius, I think is his name. He's just always bored.
Marcus is the
Marcus,
one
yeah.
who's always bored. Caius is the angry young little
Oh,
blonde
yeah, right,
one.
right, right.
Okay.
Marcus is the one who's just kind of like he lost his wife and now he's just kind of like tragedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I sit here
Let's
and
get
weep.
on with this.
Yes, exactly.
because you have to undergo so many like unless you like extricate yourself from like human life,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
undergo
yeah.
grief over and over and over again
Yeah.
for the rest
Yeah.
of your life. Basically, it's like a punishment.
Yeah.
Basically,
Crazy.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Really
Interesting questions
interesting.
about humanity.
But the downsides to Eclipse.
So
Jacob.
many of them.
Oh wait, do you
Jacob.
have any other points about why it's good?
Oh well, actually, I like that. This was also
Sorry.
the
No, you're
first
good, that's
movie
right.
how like you actually see the vampires and the werewolves like starting to work together, like to take down
The
Victoria.
Oh yeah, just
Oh,
having to be
Victoria.
like, fuck, we gotta do this.
Yeah, 'cause
together.
she's making
like
all
you see
these,
like the
like,
struggle between
younglings.
the two, and like there's
Yeah.
even like one scene where like
Newborn.
Victoria's like jumping from one border to the other, like one side to
That's
the other.
a
Yeah,
dope
that
scene.
was
like, and it's
smart.
jumps
And
and,
but then
like-
it's like, fuck, the werewolves are like the thing that didn't make sense about that is that she was in their territory. They would have gone after her first. So why did they
Right.
block Emmett from jumping over? Was it just
Yeah.
a grudge? Because it should have been the second she crossed over, they should have been on her.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
what, like okay, because I rewatched this like a
remember.
couple days ago,
Mhm.
and what I think it is like the werewolf didn't actually see her because
No, but they
she
can
like
feel
jumped
it.
through.
They can feel
that's
it.
but
as
see
far
that's
as
what
I'm
I was
aware.
thinking too when I was watching it.
They
but-
smell it.
But it's like it
Mm.
legit looked like she jumped through, and then the werewolf just comes in to
Yeah.
like lock the gate.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
nah, I'm
yeah,
coming. That's
which
it,
is
that's all.
yeah, that's
like,
fair.
Yeah.
Still, it was
but
just like
bruh.
I think someone would have been on her real fast, but
yeah, but that's a dope scene. I love that
it's
scene.
such a
Yeah,
good scene.
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's the only scene that kind of takes the tone of the original movie. Like it
Exactly.
brings back the blue kind of dark vibe, and they're like
Yep.
running and shit.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And like the way Emmett just comes out of the water, like
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's like a
like
Radiohead
fucking
scene,
Wolverine,
song in
bro.
that scene too.
yeah.
like, so,
Radiohead
like-
really is like the whole theme for
Yeah,
these
it's
four
it
movies.
works. It vibes.
They just
Um,
have the best vibe.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a dope scene, and I guess I like the final fight, like the final face to face between Edward and Victoria.
and Riley and
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
Riley.
On the
Rip
mountain.
Riley. Rip.
Yeah, Riley.
Didn't
Oh,
deserve that.
Riley, I loved Riley.
My
when my
guy
teenage
didn't-
brain
Yeah.
was like my tween brain.
My guy
It's like,
deserved
damn.
better, man. He was just trying to do
Yeah.
right by his girl.
Yeah.
He wanted that trauma, man.
Rough.
That was dark.
Yeah.
All right, downsides. The rest of the movie sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
basically, yeah.
Jacob.
No, Jacob.
Jacob
is,
literally
yeah.
just like forcing a kiss on her,
Yeah.
him punching her, and then instead of like Charlie, who has been against every guy up to this point, being like, "You fucking touched my daughter without her permission," was like, "Good job, man."
Yeah.
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 I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you, Charlie. You
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
dude?"
The
At least
family friend thing.
yeah, at least in the book, he was a little bit more like
Not okay with it.
not okay with it. It was a little bit less like.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, I think actually it might have been worse. I can't remember. No, I think that the movies made him a little bit worse in that regard.
I don't remember
I can't
so much
remember.
of this movie. Like I just like it. I
Yeah.
felt like it was
It's-
a little bit unmemorable to
Yeah,
me.
it's been like a
Yeah.
year since I
well,
covered
like most
that one.
of the movie
so.
is like Edward taking the girl all over the place to like say her goodbyes to people and like trying to change her
Yeah.
mind from being
Yeah.
a vampire.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of time is just wasted with that.
Yeah,
The books are kind of plotless. Like
they are.
not
Oh,
Well,
they
it's
really
basically
are,
yeah.
one, and then it should have been a one and done. And everyone's like, "This is really popular, so like you got to do another
gotta
one."
keep
girl."
it
Yeah.
Maximize.
Yeah, like by the time it was published in paperback, there was already an excerpt for New Moon in it. Like that's
Wow.
remember back in the day,
Oh,
like
wow.
all those young
Yeah.
adult novels, they probably still do it. Like once it got to paperback, they would have like a section
Yeah.
of the next book to be like, "You better get it."
Yeah.
I've done that with Game of Thrones because like the last book, like A Dance with Dragons, I think has like the next like 5 chapters of the next book, and the next book just has never
No,
fucking
it's never,
come
it's
Yeah,
out.
never
no, it's
coming.
never
It's never
coming.
coming.
Oh, why do you have to tease it like that?
It's never
Yeah,
gonna
it's
come
never
out.
coming.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing that I do like about Eclipse, I'm gonna back you up a little.
Oh,
I
God.
do like that this is the only movie where people acknowledge that the relationship between Bella and Edward is very obsessive.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
but
There's that
Even
scene
the
it's
with-
mother
being
says it.
acknowledged in a way most of the time in Eclipse because she acknowledges that in the first movie. Is like
Yeah.
Renee is like he's very like attached to you like when she's in the
Mhm.
hospital,
Yeah.
but in Eclipse it's the person who's really mentioning it the most is always Jacob, and it's like yeah no
Yeah.
shit you
'cause
think
But
you
it's
I
a
was
wanna
little bit
get
thinking
some
obsessive.
about I was
yourself.
thinking about that scene with Renee. I think it's in Florida.
Yeah.
Where she's
exactly.
looking at her and it's like it's kind of weird. Like he moves, you move.
Move,
Like
yeah.
this is kind of
Yeah.
You guys
Except
have a
when
weird
we're
dynamic
outside in the
going on.
sun when he just mysteriously has to be inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my guy's
How
about to turn
sparkle.
into
Yeah.
a diamond.
He's giving them privacy.
Yeah, I know. It's so nice.
He's beautiful
But,
like diamond.
I like that
Yeah.
the second one also. The second book kind of explores it with like him getting her the Volvo, like changing in her like pickup truck for like another car or something
Yeah.
like that. And she
Oh,
kind of mentions
yeah.
like that's really weird possessive behavior.
Yeah,
Or just-
that's
yeah,
in the.
like he
that's in the
sabotages
last
her
one.
car because he doesn't want her to leave the
Or
house.
it's the last
Yes.
one, maybe not
Yeah.
New Moon.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's- yeah, New Moon. He's still the truck, but yeah, he does that. He'll like sabotage her truck so she can't go to see Jacob at one point, and that's in
So weird.
Eclipse, I think.
So
Actually,
obsessive.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is
I
obsessive,
know.
but then Jacob's still worse because like Edward is like, we
totally.
just need to have a conversation. He's like, okay, I'll concede to this, but with Edward, it's like I don't think you're safe there because like look at Emily. Like
Yeah.
Sam freaked out and slashed her face. Like, well, you think that I would feel safe with you being somewhere where all these like testosterone fueled teenage boys that can turn into wolves when they get angry?
Yeah.
And it's not that it's okay, and he shouldn't be like that.
It's the lesser of two evils.
It's the lesser of two
Yeah,
evils
that's
of like
exactly it.
literally
Yeah.
Jacob being like, I do not respect your autonomy. I will kiss you against your will to just prove that you like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Like it's
stupid.
really fucked.
It did spawn all the Wattpad fan fictions, like toxic,
Yeah.
toxic boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
yeah.
Like
But also,
ah.
Bella is on her gaslighting game in this one. When Jacob is like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. And then she's just like, kiss me.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
actually
she's-
find that
she's
the
kinda
book,
weird to
but the
Jacob
book
as well.
explains it better because I always thought that was fucked up when I kept watching the movie. But when I read the book again, it's literally like he's gonna get mad and go away and die. It wasn't because she was like, oh my god, I actually love you too. She has feelings of strong affection towards him, but in her mind, in that moment, it was
Yeah.
all like he's gonna go into that fight upset and he's gonna die. So I need to keep him here longer so that he's at least happy going into this fight and has something to live for. Because right now he doesn't think he has anything to live for. So
She
I'm not
really
saying it's
does have
right.
two guys being like, I'm gonna fucking kill
Yeah,
myself.
exactly. Like I'm not saying it's right, but I'm
Ugh.
saying she's like freshly 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget that. He's like much younger.
Yeah, he's
Well, much younger,
Well,
like
yeah,
a year or
he's maybe
two.
like 16 at that point,
Yeah.
but still. But like, and then she's still young, and her again, not okay behavior, but the book at least explains it that it's like she does that so that he doesn't go away because he's literally like, well, fuck it. He literally says something to the effect of, I guess I'll just go die.
Yeah,
Is literally
okay,
what
yeah.
he says. So she technically.
Is trying
He
to save him.
gaslights her.
Yeah,
He's
well,
the one
in
who
the
emotionally
movie, it really
manipulates.
comes across at her
It's like,
being
no,
like,
I actually love you too.
Yeah, it's
they
like,
fuck
I don't,
it up.
I don't
it's
love you,
more
but I want you to not love me.
Yeah,
like,
it's romantic.
Is the wolf thing supposed to be like a puberty allegory? Because like,
I guess so.
because he like
It's like-
immediately starts becoming so aggressive. the
Yeah,
second he
he's
becomes a
so
wolf.
aggressive and mean and rude. But yeah, like in the book when I read it, I didn't realize how bad Jacob was. I knew I never liked him
Yeah.
as much after he shifts in New Moon. But yeah, I'm reading the book and I'm like, oh my god, he basically threatened to kill himself. So of course she's gonna be like, no, Jacob, I do have like, yeah, no,
Mhm.
kiss me, kiss me. I always had a hard time like reconciling that when I was watching the movie. I was like, I don't remember her being that horrible. And then I go back and read the book and I'm like, oh my god,
She was
he
that.
manipulated the fuck out of her.
Oh,
Yeah,
This
he's
little
fucking
fucking
annoying.
shit.
Wouldn't
I
be
hate him.
surprised.
He's terrible.
Throw
Terrible
them both
character.
out, honestly, when they're in the tent at the end of Eclipse,
Oh my
and he's
God.
like,
It's
I'm gonna
like-
keep her warm.
Warm. She
Let's
loves
face
me
it,
too.
I am hotter than
Oh,
I
you.
am
I'm
hotter
sure
than
there
you.
are so many fan fictions about that
We
scene that get
screamed in the
really
theater when that
fucking
happened,
weird.
And Edward's just like,
Yeah.
I'm so
Can
fucking
you
mad.
at least try to please contain your thoughts?
Yeah, but then
I
that,
do like the banter between them just
Me
because
too.
it's so stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that scene does actually show that he cares more. He's like, because Jacob will not leave her alone, and he's like, if she decided right now that she wanted you, I would leave
I'd
because
be
in the
out,
long
yeah.
run,
Yeah.
I do think that you're better for her. And if we left, you wouldn't be what you are right now, and you could just grow old normally together. And I know that would be better for her. And I'm like, he cares more. He's fucking creepy, but he cares more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but isn't that
Yeah.
also Eclipse where she admits to Edward that she loves him too, that she loves Jacob too?
She has feelings for Jacob, but it's more like yeah, like I said,
affection.
yeah. I
she
think
confuses affection with like romance. I think.
Yeah, I think. Well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's forcing it on her,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
again, yeah, and again,
Because
in the
he
movie,
says,
it's
you love
worse.
him, and she says, "I love you more."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing. It's basically like she has all these feelings of affection towards him because he was the only person who could kind of slightly bring her back from like despondent
Yeah.
feelings,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Wow, it's not just that I'm here, like you're so warm. I actually like being around you, but it's never going to be that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I hate
So-
the explanation that like this entire time his like obsession with her was really the fact that Renesmee was coming in the
I know
future.
that makes
and,
no
like,
fucking
Oh
sense.
my
It makes
God.
no
So
fucking
stupid.
sense.
Like,
Dude.
I'm
Slight
in love with
obsession
your
to your
eggs.
baby
Yeah.
out. Throw that
Yeah,
baby
throw that
out
baby
of this
out.
series. I
Because
can't
it's
with
like
that baby.
people argue with me on that shit. We'll get into imprinting next time, but for the next
Yeah,
not next time, but the
realistically,
next movie. So
If
gross.
it goes both ways. If you're gonna romanticize her, you gotta romanticize his nutsack.
Technically,
Wait.
he was
Wait,
in
I'm
love
sorry.
with Edward.
Context?
Because basically, if you're romanticizing Bella because of the potential for Renesmee, you'd have to also be romanticizing Edward's vampire venom sperm.
Yeah.
Fire venom
I mean, the
sperm.
baby
That's what it
comes
is.
from the guy.
If the only fluid in a vampire's
True,
body
true.
is venom,
Yeah.
what is the sperm?
Yeah.
It's vampire
So this
venom,
it all
Yeah.
comes back to like maybe Jacob wants to fuck Edward.
which I
Yeah.
Well, that's
think
it. You know, like
yeah,
Let's make it homoerotic.
I would love that.
that happens a lot. There are many stories.
I
where-
can imagine the fan fiction that was like the first fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Throw Bella out.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, just
Fuck
put
the
no, no,
bitch.
no.
Fuck Bella.
Her
Bella
out
with
of the
Alice.
story.
I'm a big proponent of Bella with Alice. Not because I think that Bella loves Alice, but I think Alice loves Bella. There are so
Ooh.
many context cues in the
Interesting.
books,
I just
and
don't
especially
think that Stephanie
Midnight Sun.
Meyer
She didn't do it
could see that.
intentionally.
Yeah, no.
She didn't do it intentionally, but you can't have lines being like, Edward, you have to get over this because I'm gonna love her too. Like
Yeah.
full on things, and
But you have
Yeah,
to, you have
she's
to
like
write out
she's
Jasper.
a little too invested.
yeah, she's so invested, and she really loves Bella. She's like, I love you so much. I love you so much, bestie, bestie, gal
Jasper's
pal.
also random. She kind of treats him like a little pet, like a dog.
It's like
Yeah.
you won't hurt her.
Yeah.
I do love that scene where she meets Alice for the first time because
Yeah. Ooh, you do smell good.
no, because she's immediately like super invasive and friendly
Yeah,
and everything,
like-
and because she's already seen parts of their friendship because
Yeah,
she didn't see the so
exactly.
she knows
She's
they're
already
gonna be
more
feels
best
like
intimate,
friends.
like right off the get.
That's a really weird concept when you think about
yeah,
it,
I
but
know.
it's really cool.
That you constantly have to be working at reining yourself in because you know what's coming.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what the relationship is
Yeah.
gonna be, but like you have to just keep in mind that the person doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
Any character with that kind of like foresight is like such a good narrative device. Like
Yeah.
like with Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
like Bran
Yeah,
too.
and
Like
I like the way hers works. That it even acknowledges like it's going to change when people make different decisions. Like what she sees is not
Yeah.
set
Yeah,
in
it's
stone.
just like in
Right.
Dune.
Stone.
Yeah.
She sees
Yeah.
possible versions of
yeah,
the future.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I think Alice is probably the best character after Charlie.
she kind of incites literally because all the books are like nothing, 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 and then something big at the very end. And
Yeah,
like she
and
kind of
it's
incites
always
all of
Alice.
those
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that happen basically in
Yeah.
every single book.
Exactly. And like the only reason why this stuff with New Moon happens is because she sees Bella yeet herself off a cliff, but because Jacob saves her, she can't see her get out of the water, so she thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
It's actually really
yeah.
repetitive now that I think about
It
it.
is.
Like,
It's
every single
always
book has the
Alice.
exact same like kind
Yeah.
of like
I love it though.
1, 2,
I do
3,
like
4.
that she can't
A
see the
queen.
werewolves
Yeah.
because they're like nature's balance beings of
Yeah.
like, oh, vampires are too powerful. So nature was like, I need like an equally powerful being to kind of counter them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that was the exact explanation or if it's literally just the fact that
Well,
it's actually, I think it's actually more fucked up in that because they become animals, they're not human enough.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think
shit.
that's actually more the fucked up. To be fair, they are
Definitely.
spiritual, magical beings, but like they never, I don't think they make it sound like they're the match to the
Yeah.
powers because every other power still works. Like Edward can still read their minds. Jane's pain powers still work. It's literally just something that because
Oh,
they
yeah,
can turn
yeah.
into animals, they become less human.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure that's
Which
what it
character
is.
is Jane again?
Jane is the Volturi. She is,
Dakota
Dakota
Fanning.
Fanning.
She's like-
She's the one who can go pain, and it's like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
And that all still works on the werewolf. So I think the future thing has to just be like,
Yeah.
and you could make it nicer, just like, you know, that it's because they're also supernatural beings. It's just something that doesn't work on them. But it's very weird that Alice's power is the only one that doesn't work on them.
True.
Yeah.
Weird.
Every
Yeah, I
other
never
power
realized
works.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Very
Bella,
weird.
there's
True.
some kind of logic, even though it doesn't make sense. Some powers work on her and some powers don't. And it's like Jasper's calming influence works, even though that would be a physical thing. But she's like, no, it's the physical ones don't work. So that's why Jane's power doesn't work because she can push it off.
Yeah.
And that's why like Edward's mind reading won't work because it's intrusive. But I'm like, yeah, but Jasper influencing her emotions is intrusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and
I think
that
it's just
works.
she had to retcon things down the line. Could be like, I think it started with she just for some reason is the only person that Edward can't read. And then it's because they had to keep going. She had to be like,
Yeah, what
she's
could
a
it be?
shield.
These
Yeah.
kind of
Yes,
powers,
shield,
like,
yeah.
they provide. They're kind of like a bit difficult when you're like story writing too, because
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, like Alice can see everything.
Yeah,
like,
what
what
does
are the
that mean
rules
for
here?
the story? Yeah, what are the rules of the game? Kind of.
Yeah, so like I don't think she meant to be like I think a lot of the stuff that she does with with the Quileute tribe. She doesn't mean to be offensive, but like then she is just very
it's
offensive in a
rough.
lot of ways.
It's
Like
rough.
It's definitely rough. I was watching something. What was it saying that like it actually has brought like a lot of like industry to
it has.
the
The
indigenous group.
Yeah, the Quileute tribe.
The
They
Quileute tribe.
do
Yeah.
actually have a lot of them have been able to like capitalize on the tourism aspects, but a lot of them really hate it because it's like people have all these like huge misconceptions of their culture and their history. So anytime I make videos, I donate ad revenue to the Quileute tribe because they have like a move to higher ground campaign to get out of like an area where they're like in a major flood zone, so that they can like protect their culture. And then I always list like, here are the resources with their real history and education. So I try to like offset.
Is she working with them? Like, what is Stephanie Meyer's?
Never,
No,
never.
she's-
That's the worst
So
part.
that's
So
the
I
bad
honestly
part.
think that in the long run, individually, I've probably given them more money than Stephanie Meyer has. They've
That's
made
facts.
more money themselves from like the increased tourism industry. And like there's like the benefits to that, but she could have been more respectful. You could have had a world where it's like, yeah, some people are mad that there's this
Yeah.
increased tourism around here, but then people are still benefiting from like the economy side of it. And she's also giving them money for using their real history
Yeah.
and then changing it. Like that's the other thing with the clips. There's like a whole thing where she just makes up this like backstory of like a tribal leader who can
But just
who
make
can
up a new
spirit walk.
tribe,
That's what I mean. I don't
then.
know why
Yeah,
she didn't
that's
just
it.
make
Yeah,
up
why
a new
you gotta-
tribe.
Yeah, I don't know why you would
Why you
use
gotta
a
go
real.
to
Well, it's like back
group.
in 2004, you're like, I'm doing so much research. Like I'm being
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
authentic.
it sounds like she just Googled like a tribe from the area
She did.
and then was just like, cool, I'll use that name.
That's what she did.
That is probably.
Yeah,
what
it's
it
just like
is.
we're picking Forks, Washington. Oh, there's La Push Beach, pretty close. Oh, that's a tribal zone. Like
Yeah.
let's.
And there's
Wait,
already
is Forks
so
a-
much.
Forks is not a fictional city?
No, it's not. Forks
It's
is
real.
Forks, Washington is real.
Shit,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
funny
why
that
the
they-
museum is in Forks, Washington.
Oh,
Also, just
wow.
funny that they made it less rainy too, because it's like, no, Forks is still rainy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one that they ended up filming a lot of the movies after the fact in Oregon.
Oh,
So I think Bella's house is actually in Oregon, not.
Did they actually
Forks.
shoot the first one in Forks?
No, some of it may. I have to double check this. I just know that a lot of it's filmed in Oregon.
Oh, to be
Okay.
from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's all
Damn.
rain and
Mountains,
trees,
mountains.
mountains.
I'll take mountains over this flat land any day.
Fair.
Yeah.
I do. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like going to
Damn.
Utah,
The shots
driving
were
from
fired.
Salt Lake City to Park City for Sundance. It's like gorgeous. I'm like, oh my god, that's the thing. I have like some online stalkers and stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah, I've got some crazy people in my
Really?
Yeah,
some reply guys.
It's so crazy. I finally only managed to get rid of like I had an Italian stalker who hasn't messaged me in like 7 days, which is great, but it's only because I was posting videos and pictures with my friend Daniel Green, who was in London for that premiere with me, and he assumed he was my boyfriend, even though I told this guy like I was gay at the time I was in a relationship. He's like, why would you lie about such things?
Maybe he's a vampire.
Yeah, it could be a
no,
vampire.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's literally just like an insane person. He'll just send me pictures of himself a bunch. And like when I was talking about Shiva, he's Italian and doesn't speak English. He lets Google translate all of his emails, so I know
Oh,
he doesn't
damn.
understand half the
rough.
shit I
Yeah,
say.
he's part of Volturi, bro.
Yeah, well, he
That's
watches
why-
my videos
Wow.
and doesn't understand what I'm saying. So I'm like, I don't understand where this love has come from.
Oh yeah, there's no rhyme
Yeah.
or reason to be
It's
honest.
so weird.
So weird.
But yeah, so I was talking about Shiva baby, and then suddenly he started sending me pictures of babies. So he must have thought I was like really
With
hoping
a
to have a
knife
kid.
next
to it.
Because
That's
it's
so
like,
you guys
yeah.
get people in your DMs like sending you videos because I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
open that.
yep,
Yeah.
I'm not
so
opening
weird. I'm
that.
not opening that
I
shit.
get videos and
Hate it.
but like Instagram does that thing when like the photo is like blurred and you have to like
Yeah,
tap on it.
tap
to
on
open
it.
it.
I'm like, please don't
So
be
you
a
can
penis.
kinda
Please don't
get
be a
an
penis.
idea.
Yeah.
Please don't be a penis.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just-
bet your DMs are kind of crazy too. Cause you're,
my DMs are weird.
yeah,
I believe it.
I get weird things, but
I'm trying to find a balance.
It's hard. It's hard.
it's pretty
Um,
intense. I guess we're gonna have to talk about Breaking
I was gonna
Dawn.
say Breaking Dawn,
Yeah.
part
I don't
1
like
and
it.
2, baby.
Part one is the only Twilight movie that I can't sit through.
I can because it's like so tonally all over the place. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's
This
honestly
movie is
so funny.
incoherent
It's
as
so
shit.
funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Because like
incoherent as shit.
it's the weirdest thing because for me the books it's like they get worse as they go. So it's like I really like the first two, I don't like Eclipse, and then I hated Breaking Dawn. And then the movies, it's like that until you hit Breaking Dawn, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. They have committed to this movie being the stupidest fucking thing in the world because what else
Yeah.
do you do? Like Edward's breaking a bed, just like
That shit
Yeah.
did not need
Yeah.
to be 2 movies.
It did not.
No,
it
well,
did
you know-
not. It's the Harry
nothing in
Potter
it.
thing. It's
Sophia
yeah.
Sophia
Good
Coppola
point.
was supposed to direct Breaking Dawn, and
Yeah.
she left the project because she did not want to do 2 parts,
Are
and they
you
were forcing
fucking-
her to do
Yeah.
that.
That
But-
would have been so good.
I know,
Yeah, I
but
know.
but how do you make that story good? So like it's almost better that we got these 2 ridiculous parts that are just off the wall fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
I'd rather it be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I'd
to be
rather it
honest.
be bad than somebody take a sincere attempt at making a god awful fucking dog shit book, and
I feel
something
protective
good.
over Sophia, so I don't want her to
Yeah,
get,
you don't
I don't
want
want her
that
to take more
tainted.
hits than she needs.
Yeah, exactly. So I was fine with this method. But yeah, there was like after Harry Potter got away with it, everyone was all like, we can do a part 1 and
Harry
2.
Potter made sense because that book is dense and
It's
like has a
dense,
lot, and like
and it had
both
to
movies
wrap
are
up.
like, you know, pretty good. I mean, I have my own feelings, but you know,
Yeah.
Whereas like this was like
There was
this
no
book-
need.
There's nothing in this book.
There's
Like,
nothing in this
there's
book. It's
no plot.
already
It's
boring
so
as shit
dull,
and too
yeah.
long. It's
See,
like
the
1,000
montage
pages.
of them on the honeymoon, and you're like, oh look, another montage of them playing chess.
Yeah,
They're-
and
yeah,
then like
exactly.
Bella
Honeymoon
just
was
in
kinda
like the
boring.
fucking lingerie being like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Because they don't talk. Like, I don't think they have banter. They just stare at each other.
They
so it's like,
do.
oh, this is what their
It's
They
relationship
never
banter.
have
like.
banter.
It's
There's, like,
Yeah, it
banter
really
and
is
Bella
weird,
trying
yeah.
to
How
fuck.
is this relationship
Yeah.
working, bro?
I don't know. They
Like-
look so miserable together.
don't look like
when
they're happy.
when
They're
everything is
bored.
okay and everything, they look so miserable together. That one
no, they're
one
cute.
snap at the beginning of at the beginning of Eclipse when they're going to school and like they're like in the car, they look like they just got in a fight.
You know what they
Even
look
though-
like? They look like business partners. They don't look like they're in a relationship. Like they're always next to each other. You know, they give themselves the eye. Like, yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
just so many negotiations that they make
Yeah,
throughout their entire
that's
relationship
it.
that it's like almost not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's no
just-
chance to be normal.
there's no
kind of.
Yeah,
romance
there's
in
no
Yeah.
chance to be. Yeah, there's just no chance to be more.
Or it's like
normal.
only romance. Like there's no
It's
like.
all very intense,
Yeah.
like melodrama
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, they're always trying to compromise on something. I want
Yeah.
to have sex,
I wanna
but
be
I
a
want
vampire.
you to
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
and like, I want to be a vampire, not until we're married, and that's totally like an allegory
that becomes
for.
so jaded when it's like, okay, I want to have sex with you. Okay, well, I can only have sex with you if you're a vampire too. Okay, then turn me into a vampire. I don't
want
to
you because of your
Only after
soul.
graduation.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of like, not even Mormon propaganda, just religious propaganda in general. That it's like, it's coded in. So it's all like Edward thinks that becoming a vampire is like
losing your soul.
you're losing your
Yeah.
soul. You become soulless. What do religious people think having sex before marriage is? It's sin. Vampirism and like the bite is like a virginity type thing.
Yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like
That's
all
like the huge lore of
Yeah,
it. Like there's a lot of
exactly.
sex wrapped in like vampire.
always,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's and it's
lore.
and it is. It's hot. It works and
Yeah.
it makes sense. But it's like in the context of this with like a teen romance, it gets like a little like okay there.
No, totally.
Calm down.
I think also
Yeah.
because I've just been thinking about the comparisons to Interview with the Vampire, but like that movie really kind of condemns the idea of living without death, whereas like Twilight, like it ends and it's like, oh, they're immortal forever and happy now.
Yeah,
And it's
it
like all the
romanticizes it.
problems
yeah,
of-
are just gone.
are gone. Like all the problems of like you guys never aging. Like
Yeah.
that's sad. I don't
Yeah.
think you
That's really
you
sad.
Because
actually do
Bella's
want
just
that.
like I never felt like I fit in anywheres, and now I realize it's in this weird world and stuff, which
Yeah.
is so romanticized by teenagers in general. Like I like anything. I was like, oh, if I could be a werewolf, I'd do it. If I could be a vampire, I'd do it. If I could be a fucking superhero, Jedi, whatever, like make me special.
I want to be
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I want to be out there, and like so many people feel that way.
It's just
yeah.
it's yeah.
It's fantasy.
I just think
fulfillment.
the book is so strange too because like the second
Oh.
the pregnancy happens, like all of that like overarching plot that we've been leading to with like Bella getting changed and stuff
Yeah.
is gone.
It's
Like all
abandoned,
of the
It's
thematic
so
like elements of it
fucked.
are just gone, and now it's like all about this random baby that comes in the second half of
hate
the
that
last
plot
book in a
line.
series.
It's
I
so
hate
fucked,
that
and then it's
plot
literally
line.
like she's being destroyed and from the inside out, literally dying, falling apart. And you've got Team Bella, which is like Alice and Edward and Carlisle, and probably Esme's just there to be whoever needs me the most.
Esme Switzerland.
Yeah, Esme's
Yeah.
in
She's
that
in the middle,
situation.
yeah.
She's like whatever, and then you've got Rosalie, who's like, I'm Team Baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
that bitch is
Rosalie
And
was
she's
just
like, it would be better if you died.
Yeah, because then I can't take
I kind of
care
love that though.
it.
She was like, maybe you should just kind of kick it. Sorry. Like,
Yeah, like, yeah.
She didn't
It's
care
rough,
at
and like
all.
it just became this 100%. Like it doesn't matter what happens to the mother, this baby is being
Oh my God,
born.
Jacob.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
Jacob was also
his
logical.
worst line is when he's in the house with Bella when she's pregnant and he's just like, "Don't look at me like that." She's like what? Like I'm your favorite person in the world. And I'm just like, broski, listen to me, broski.
Dude, she's pregnant.
Dude, she
Broski.
pregnant. It's
It
time
kind
to
of
move
feels like
on.
the Joey Rachel plotline in Friends,
Yeah.
where Joey's like falling for her. And she's like pregnant. And he has all those like dreams.
I
of,
would have
I
been
hate
okay.
it.
Everybody disagrees with me, but I would have been okay with that plot line. I would have been
I
okay with
hate
them
it.
being together because Ross is so bad.
I like it better than
Ross
yeah,
is
her
really
Yeah,
well, they're
Ross
just
is
like
a
ill
menace.
matched. Like there's
No,
no
I just
reason
think-
for them to be
Yeah,
together.
Ross
I
is
think
a fucking
Rachel should have
menace.
ended alone
She
and
ended-
going
yeah.
to Paris.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
absolutely should have
Yeah.
gone to Paris.
It did feel like weirdly incestuous watching her and Joey.
Joey,
kinda,
that's
like,
fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because they
that's fair.
do feel like we're bros.
I think
but-
just with the pregnancy on top of it was just like
He's rough.
ew.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
she starts
rough.
breastfeeding in front of him, and he's like,
Yeah, it's so weird,
How
and
you
that's like,
doing?
yeah,
How
I'm
you
doing-
doing?
but that's like the other issue with Breaking Dawn.
That's
It's
hot.
just like
Hot.
the pregnancy, like Twilight and a lot of like YA fantasy like that is supposed to be like teen escapism.
Yeah.
And then what is like, no, that's not escapism. That's like every girl's worst nightmare is getting fucking pregnant when you're still in high school.
This
and shit.
came at a time though of a boom of teenage pregnancy media.
So
like it was
weird.
like 16 and Pregnant,
Yeah.
The Secret Life of the American Teenager. There's a bunch more.
Yeah.
And they were
Oh
all
my
so
God.
conservative with the way that every single fucking girl in these things would go through with the pregnancy.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't want to see that anymore. Honestly,
No.
there's nothing like if it's already happened, fine. But like it's like I just don't know if I want to watch a plot line about a teenager having
Yeah,
a
I know.
child anymore.
And that's like, I appreciated Degrassi. Degrassi was all like, one of them's going to have a baby, one of them's going to get an
Yeah,
abortion, somebody's
there's a
going to have a
balance.
miscarriage.
But
like,
Degrassi tackled it in a smart way, I think.
yeah, it always tackled it in a pretty smart.
Yeah.
Every once in a while,
I
they're
kinda
like
love it.
the further you got in, they would just start using pregnancy scares way too much. But I'm like, I guess that's kind of accurate.
that school
but-
had so many school shootings. Oh my god!
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
like
Yeah,
horrible
school
events.
shootings.
happened.
Yeah,
School
yeah,
tragedies.
This
Yeah.
school went through some
A lot of people
shit.
from my high school were on Degrassi.
I'm
Very-
so
Really?
jealous of
Yeah.
that. Between that
Jesus.
and Glee, I was like, I
Don't
should have been on
be.
one of
It
these.
was like definitely funny.
I
Should
love
we
it.
reboot Degrassi?
No.
Isn't
well, no,
it
they
still on?
no. They started doing First Class. Then that didn't do
Next
well,
Class.
so they
First
next
Class
class.
is
I was
X-Men.
every time next class,
That's
and they
a
were supposed
different
to
show.
keep
They're all
going with it,
mutants,
but the
yeah.
ratings tanked so hard that they stopped.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sad. I
It
had the
wasn't.
longest
It
friend.
wasn't good though. Like I'm sure
Aw.
they'll bring it back eventually. Degrassi
Yeah,
just
next
seems
next
like one
class
of those
was
things.
tragic.
I mean, it was
It's
never
not-
like prestige. Oh,
I think
like,
it,
was
it's
like
really
after
No, it's always been
weird.
kinda cheesy.
There was like a
Yeah.
weird time where I felt like the acting actually got like better, and it was like pretty much right after the Next Generation class cycled out, and you had
Mhm.
you had like Claire and Eli
the
and
Personal Life
Adam.
with Derek. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
yeah.
And then you
Life
had
of
like
Derek.
that. We were talking about that earlier too, but like so like I'd say from like season 10ish to like maybe 14 or 15, I feel like the quality of like the acting kind of bumped up
Yeah.
in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
As a Canadian, I'm proud of Degrassi.
Oh, I'm so proud of Degrassi.
Degrassi's
That is
really
that's
good,
my
yeah.
next. That's
Sometimes
my
it was
next
like
big project.
extreme melodrama. Oh, you should.
I'm so excited for
Yeah.
it. That's probably going to be my first like multi-hour video because there's no way not
Yes.
to. There's
That-
no way.
There's
not
no way
to.
you can't. It's been like the original, like the junior high
Yeah.
one from the 80s is like the cutest shit
It's
I've
so.
ever
I'm
seen.
just.
It's really
It's
I'm
so
lightly
ridiculous.
touching on that, and
So
then I'm just
cheesy,
diving
so-
into like Next Generation because that was like my
Amazing.
shit.
You're not going to talk about my boy Joey Jeremiah?
I can in Next Generation because he's in it. I am going to talk about Joey Jeremiah and the zits and like how
Amazing.
like
Funny.
cutesy it was, but then like I'm gonna it's gonna get real hard from like season like Next Generation to like season 15, and then I'll like dwindle off into Next Class. But
You
I
know
love that.
Snake?
yeah, of course I know Snake.
In,
He's-
in French, his name is Anguille, which literally translates to eel.
oh,
Ooh.
Which
it does. It is
Anguille,
eel.
which I was like, why not just call him Serpent? Which
Yeah,
means
Serpent.
snake, just
Serpent.
serpent.
Seriously.
Also, what is this cardigan? This is like a crazy.
Oh,
It's
he's
so
so
sexy.
It's really
fancy.
nice.
I know, thank you.
I'm so jealous.
So
I want to buy
fancy.
one.
It's
It looks like high qual.
It is
Yeah.
high qual, and, and it's my I'm editing for 20 hours outfit
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Because it's just cozy, and I make myself like a hot coffee, and I'll just edit, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's so good.
But now it's my sleep deprived podcast outfit.
Oh, I'm trying
Um,
to figure out how we got to Degrassi from Breaking Dawn.
Teen pregnancy.
Oh,
Teen
it's right.
pregnancy, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Breaking Dawn.
Yeah.
Bella gets so then then it's like very interesting because it's so like melodramatic and crazy, and then weird like fuck sesh in the beginning to like body horror. Like
Mhm.
that she's
Yeah.
freaking out, dying. He has to bite the baby out of her. There's like
Yeah.
the lights are blinking in and out because she's losing all of her blood, and she's already been losing all of her blood.
If there's
Um,
anything to scare teens out of sex, it was that
That-
sex
it
was
scene
that-
and also the baby breaking her
Exactly.
back.
Yeah, like,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
yeah,
What
'cause,
the
like,
the
hell?
body thing is
When
just
she's like,
that was
Yeah.
and
that
you
was
hear all the noises.
I
like,
know.
The guy in sound design was like, "This is my fucking
This is
day."
my fucking
I'm
year.
gonna
I've been
go
waiting for
fucking
this.
ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he slams like the thing of concentrated venom into her heart, and then
Yeah.
and then he's like biting her all over, and then he's like, "Come on!"
And Jacob
he's
is
like,
just
"Come
not
on."
helping.
Yeah.
Jacob is just not helping. He's just
So
like,
random.
You
Yeah,
deserve
it's
to
like
live
every
with
I
me.
know. It's
Yeah.
just like the way he's like freaking out. It's like, "Come on!" Like,
And you
Yeah.
can hear her heart, like her the
yeah, the
compression's, like,
compression's just
her,
breaking
like,
her body, and like the
Jesus
squelching noises of like
Yeah.
the blood. It's so
But
brutal.
she's actually dead for a while,
Yeah,
right?
she
Yeah,
is.
she
Yeah,
actually
she's
dies,
legally
like the
dead.
heart.
Died.
Yeah, she would be legally dead, but then like the heart starts again, and like you see all the tissues coming back, and then like I just love that with her
Well,
chest
yeah.
popping
Yeah,
back
that's
up,
scary. Just
and then she's boom.
yeah, the red eyes.
Pop music.
And then we got Breaking Bad.
Breaking
Bad.
Dawn.
And then we have
Breaking
Breaking
Dawn
Bad.
That's
Part
Alice
2.
running a drug cartel.
Yeah,
Yo, she'd never get caught.
She'd
could see
never
the
She'd
get
never
caught.
get caught. Yeah, she
Yeah,
would know
yeah.
when they're
Caught.
coming.
Yeah.
Part 2, aka You nicknamed my baby after the Loch Ness monster?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
that was a really good impression.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
not bad. That was not
I
bad.
could
You've
be
seen it
Kristen
enough
Stewart.
times.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have. There's
Yeah.
certain things I can mimic pretty
And also
well.
the original Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
That-
because I
that
commented
final-
on that. I made a video back in 2019, and I was like, it was like when the movie ends, it's literally any character that has ever had any amount of screen gets played with their name next to them. It's like, I would die every
Yeah,
day.
it's so
But it's, and I'm like
intense.
laughing, and I was like, who remembers this person?
Yeah.
It's like cleaning lady when they were on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
She strolls by. I'm like, really?
I
Really?
hate that character
Cleaning
because she's
lady?
such an ethnically like
Stereotype?
she's the non-white character who knows about magical mumbo jumbo. Like she
And
just
she
gets
knows
there.
that they're
The sage.
vampires.
There's always
Yeah.
a sage.
Yeah,
who's like,
kind of. Yeah, like
just-
she
oh,
sees Edward and she
stupid.
says something in a different language and she's scared of him and it's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, they're
it's
like
so-
whatever
Yeah, I
voodoo
know.
stuff she might
Yeah.
be. Like,
Exactly.
It's like, ooh,
But that
yucky.
happened like before Endgame came out, and I was like, this is so cheesy. And I'm like, Endgame could probably get away with it, and then they did it, and I was like, I'm fucking so
Got
good.
away with it. No, but,
But
I'm
it was
I'm
fucking
talking-
good.
It was good in
Like
Endgame because you
that.
felt like you earned it in
Yeah.
Endgame. Like
yeah, with
we
the
didn't
signatures
earn.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Like
sweet.
I want like a minted coin with like a
Oh, the-
signature and
yeah,
then a
yeah,
picture.
yeah.
People
or
were really
something.
mad that I commented on that. They're like, we thought it was really nice, and I was just like, I don't know. Like some of the characters,
It's not
sure.
earned. It's not earned.
And then when it gets like the last three characters, it has like the book pages flipping until it's like the first time their name's been mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's like Bella saw, or like the first time they were mentioned in regards to each other. So instead of just like Bella looked across, it would be like Bella looked across the room and saw blah blah blah, and then like Jacob. So and then it's their names, and then it's like Kristen Stewart, but it's only for Kristen, Robert, and Taylor. That
Oh,
they do
weird.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, stop with Taylor. He lost.
Oh.
Jacob lost, guys.
He's
Jacob
X from the
lost.
narrative.
Yeah, he's out.
I can't. If there was ever a cottagecore fantasy or like the beginnings of a cottagecore fantasy, it's this fucking book because
Yeah,
like there's
for
like
sure, yeah.
they make them a little cottage in the
They
forest.
do.
Why is everyone so nice to these guys? They're not that great. Like
They
Edward and
kinda
Bella,
suck,
like
yeah.
everyone
Edward-
around them is working so hard to make sure
I
they're
know.
happy, and I'm like,
But,
what
like,
have they done for you?
To be fair, Bella like tries really hard and she's really polite, but like
She's
Edward
nice.
apparently is like only ever been described as just being miserable for like 50 years.
Yeah.
Just
But
so
also, like, what makes
brutally-
them so special? Come on, like they're
They're
fine.
the Cullens.
They're the Cullens.
They're
No, but all
kind
the
of-
Cullens kind of revolve around them. Like we do
Them.
not get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
they
Because
just-
Alice
Focus
loves
on
her and
yourself.
Alice gets shit done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think
Alice-
they're just so
yeah.
happy to have a new person around.
Maybe that's it. Yeah,
Maybe
they're
That
just
too.
happy.
Probably.
It's
Fresh
literally
blood.
like the same reason
Yeah.
why everybody
Yeah, fresh
obsesses over.
blood.
Yeah, well, it's the same reason why they all obsess with her when she's new at the school. It's like, oh my god, new
She's
fresh
special.
meat, fresh meat, fresh meat.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, literally, with the vampires.
Well, they make them a whole ass cottage in the forest.
I know,
and then
that
they're,
was
like,
weird.
so
and
they
the
can
clips of them
fuck.
running through the meadow
Yeah, they're
together, like they're
running, but
through
like
the
they're
forest.
dressed as if they're from like the 40s.
Yeah, they have their like weird little like shit, like her little like slip dress.
Slip dress, and he's got like the weird like pull shirt with like a vest over top of it, and I'm
And they're
like,
kind of just floating too. They're like,
I think that
Yeah.
might have been like a fantasy, as if they got married after she became a vampire. Like I think that was
Yeah.
like a vision that
A
Alice
version
saw,
of the
where
future
so that
that
would have
would-
then been wearing like wedding clothing that would have been more traditional to like maybe Edward's time.
yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
all I can
Okay,
think,
that
but I
makes
always
sense.
laugh
Yeah,
when
that
I
makes
see it. I'm
sense.
just kind of like, why are they
Oh,
dressed like
to be
that?
fair, we also didn't acknowledge the wedding in the first part, movie,
Right,
Because like
the
that shit
wedding.
was beautiful.
It was
They
beautiful.
actually did a great job.
I know, but then you've got like
They
you
kissed
have like
for way
Jessica
too long.
making the sassy
They kissed for
comments.
way too long.
She's like, I
Yeah.
bet she's pregnant, and then just like, you can't say that. And I'm like, who else gets married at 18? And I'm like, foreshadowing.
I
is a
kind of love the
nightmare.
Yeah.
bitchiness from Anna Kendrick as the
Me
as
too,
the, as the
as
movies
Jessica.
go on. I'm like, I love that she's just kind of a bad friend.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's
Like,
right
kind
from
of
the
a bitch.
get go. Like Bella acknowledges that she's a terrible friend, like right from the first
Yeah.
book, and she just has to maneuver around it. But literally, like her breaking down the Cullens is so funny because like Angela's like, they're not related. It's like, yeah, but they live together. And
Yeah.
you know what? She's right. Like they do. Yeah, if it was an actual like adopted step sibling thing, she would absolutely be right in this scenario. That it's fucked up that
Yeah.
they're together.
Yeah, totally.
But also breaking down part 2, that final battle is ghetto as shit.
Ghetto as
It's
shit.
So
good.
gangster,
It's
But
so
it's
good.
so cheap because
It's-
it didn't
didn't
fucking
happen.
happen.
It didn't fucking
Because like
happen.
we were in the theater when Carlisle's head gets ripped off.
People are like, this
Everyone
doesn't happen in the
showed
book.
Yeah.
Because we were like,
Because there's no fight in the book.
There's
nothing
no
in
fight.
the book.
No, they
No.
divert it. Like the whole thing is them working so hard to like divert it from happening, and then
Yeah.
once they realize that like Bella's actually a human, that the werewolves aren't actually a threat.
Yeah.
The
they-
filmmakers just had no faith in like the story. Like they were like, this shit's boring.
Because like why
I'm
wouldn't
kinda happy
yeah
they
they
went
had
with the
to
fight.
so they're
I'm
like
kinda
let's
happy they
pull
went with
a
Yeah.
because like let's just pull an Alice vision because she definitely saw the worst case scenario, so let's play that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you both
Yeah.
shocked audiences because the people who read the book were like, oh my God, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
What the hell?
This did not.
New footage.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
Carlisle's head, and it's like, but the second you see that, you're like, this isn't sticking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
But
the
it was
fight,
still really cool,
The
though.
fight
It's
has
a good
some
fight.
moments
Yeah.
that
The
are
gore
so
is
dope.
so
I know.
weird too, because it's just kind of like ripping off blocks, like
Yeah,
the way
I
that
know.
they're ripping
Yeah,
off
like
limbs,
ice
and it's like
blocks.
Yeah.
little ice blocks.
And I
Love
love
it.
like when Jane looks scared when like the werewolf is just
Yeah,
coming
coming at
towards
her.
her.
Yeah,
Oh.
so good. And the way Aro
Yeah.
gets bodied by a team up, Bella
Yes.
and Edward's team
Yeah, I
up,
know.
Avengers style.
It's like
Yeah, it's
extreme
so good.
catharsis.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked getting to see Bella be a badass too. That was nice.
yeah.
Finally,
Yeah,
yeah,
finally.
getting to be like active
Finally
in the story.
doing
Yeah, like
something.
not just like arm wrestling Emmett.
Okay, but I can't with Renesmee. There's the whole thing.
I
of, like,
know, I
Zo-
can't
I
with
just can't with
Renesmee.
that whole that character.
I hate
Goodbye.
her.
Be
Renesmee
gone.
is,
Be
yeah,
gone.
Renesmee doesn't.
No.
The story could have ended differently.
Oh yeah,
didn't you?
let's
Yeah.
touch on imprinting
Imprinting.
because we didn't do that. So basically, the whole
Oh,
time
Jesus.
Jacob hates this baby, and newborns are like super powerful, and they assume that there's going to be something weird going on with this like newborn baby that's going to be more intense because like they don't know what it is. So Jacob's basically supposed to kill her. So Jacob sneaks into the room where Rosalie is like, "Oh, my baby," but then the second he sees her, he like falls to his knees, sees her when she's going to be older, and them in love,
I
and
hate
because
it.
imprinting.
Yeah, it's
Her
just-
Is this-
CGI ass face.
It's
Yeah.
it's this process in which the shapeshifters basically find their soulmate, and they explain it in a way that's like it doesn't always have to be romantic, but like it is explicitly mentioned that like this would be like your perfect like genetic partner.
Yeah.
This would be your perfect like pair in every way, but like they would have the autonomy to say no. But like who's gonna say no to somebody who's like love bombing you that much and like protecting you? And then it becomes extra problematic when it's young. So at the beginning of Breaking Dawn, when we're in Jacob's perspective in the book, it mentions that Quill has imprinted on somebody's 4-year-old child, and he's babysitting this kid all the time. But it's not
Yeah.
weird yet. It's not weird yet. But you know what they call that?
grooming.
Yeah.
It's fucking grooming.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so disgusting, and they try to dance around it, but somebody even asked, could they any of them imprint on other men? And she'd be like, well, no, because it's supposed to be like a genetic thing. So I'm like,
yeah.
right there, you were telling me that the end game for this is sex. It's a relationship. It's romance.
It's a sexual relationship. Yeah.
And you see them kissing in that thing when he has like the visions, and like Alice has a vision of them together later. And I'm like, this is grooming. There is no world
This
where
is
this
what
is
animal
not grooming.
imprints? The only one I think of is geese.
I don't
Yeah.
know, penguins, I think?
imprint.
Yeah, but I think this is
Penguins.
literally
Penguins.
supposed
Which
to
is
be
why
Yeah,
like.
I'm like,
penguins.
what is
Otters.
the what is the
Maybe?
foregrounding for
Otters?
her
Otters,
coming
I
up with
think.
this whole
I
idea?
think
Like, what is
for-
that?
I think it was so that there'd be a reason that people wouldn't just latch onto Jacob so much because, like, well, he didn't imprint on her, so there must be something going on there. But the imprinting, all like it's literally supposed to be that like the people who can become werewolves find their perfect genetic matches for like the next generation of like warriors
Yeah.
Yeah.
type thing.
Mhm.
But it's so fucked.
Like,
I
babe,
know,
you
I
didn't
hate it.
think that
Yeah.
one through.
But then she's going to commit to it. That's like the one thing everybody essentially comes back to. But apparently that is the next book she's theoretically working on. I think the excerpts that leaked are fake. I don't.
Jacob and Renesmee?
Yeah, Jacob
Yeah.
and
Who
Renesmee.
wants that? First of all, I don't want to see
A
Renesmee.
lot of
Second of
people
all, I
do.
don't want to see both of them.
A lot of people do. It's very
Ew.
weird. People think that's like very romantic and cute. But like when you, and then they get mad at me for pointing out that it's fucked up.
It's also like, okay, so I just hate the convenience of her aging, and then stopping aging when she's at this like prime
Her
hot
prime
age.
hot
Yeah.
age.
Like, it's
yeah.
fucking weird.
It's
and yet this
weird.
person's been on the earth for like, what,
2
2
weeks?
years? Like, yeah, literally.
Well,
Like,
because the other one says that he became full grown at age 7.
Yeah, that's true. By age
That's
7,
true.
he was
Yeah.
full grown. They
Yeah.
found one other person that was like Renesmee.
ew,
Yeah.
that's
And
disgusting.
that's
really
like at
gross.
the end of the fight too, right? It's
Yeah,
like at the
exactly.
end,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and like just to
Yeah,
tie
we
up some
found our
knots.
cousins
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Amazon. And I was like,
It's just
the
annoying.
Amazon?
Just let Jacob be alone and be okay with the fact that Bella can't. Like, I
yeah,
just don't know why they
let
had
him
to put
find
him in this
another
narrative.
nice girl. Let him
So
find.
stupid.
It's so gross. Like everything, that imprinting stuff is just really.
I hope
fucked.
I hope that if she does the Renesmee book, it's just Renesmee was not down.
Renesmee's
But
like,
no, she's gonna be totally down, and like Alice has seen it, and it's like it's grooming. He got
Dude,
groomed.
just
It's so
kinda
gross.
gross.
Edward even makes a joke in the book where he says something about like calls him his son-in-law already. Like when
That
Renesmee
was
is like,
fucked. I
Mhm.
remember
yeah,
that.
like
That was
first Christmas,
ew.
little baby. I'm like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
That's like actually
Should
fucking
I call you
unhinged.
dad?
should I call you
That is
dad?" But then he's
disgusting.
like literally like, "Yeah, I guess you're like my son now." I'm like,
Ew.
what?
That's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that cheery note, this is gonna close
I'm so
out.
happy we're in the Renaissance.
yeah. Yeah, I think we can
Same.
all agree that the first 2 Twilight are dope.
The first one especially.
Yeah.
That
First one
shit.
especially,
So
love it.
good.
So good.
That's
Go
gonna
listen to
close out.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
This is gonna close out the Twilight
And
special.
also Eclipse. For some.
Yeah.
Clips for
For some.
We
for some.
we got you, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We want you. What is your favorite Twilight movie? Let us know in the comments down below. And thank you for watching. As always, I am Dylan, aka Friendly Space Ninja. I was joined by Bruno the Commander, Maya of BROEY DESCHANEL fame, and Amanda the Jedi. All our links are going to be in the descriptions, whatever you're listening to, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching, and see you all.
Stay sexy, peeps.